Welcome back, everyone, to another one-on-one with Jerry Hall. Today's guest is an absolute XRP community fan favorite. That's right, it's Mr. Wietse, creator of the XRPTIPBot and this incredible new app called XUMM, XUMM. We're going to have a conversation now. I'll be honest with you, some of it got a little technical for me. I'm not that, I'm not an engineer and I'm not a coder. But Wietse's personality is just so inviting and so warm. He's been such an incredible community member. I hope that you enjoy this conversation. I get to explain some of the things I had issues with the app, and he gets to tell me some things I could do to fix it. He shares about the possible iterations to come. We talk about global ID, KYC, AML, etc. It's a really great conversation. I hope you folks enjoy it. So Wietse, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me. How are things going?
Well, thank you, and things are all great actually. I mean, I definitely can't complain. Some more sleep would help. Other than that, it's okay.
Well, you've got the XRP Ledger Labs business. You've got a wife, and you've got very young children. One I think is a recent baby, right? Within the first 6 months or so.
Yeah, one is 1.5 years, and one is 3 months old.
You're a
That's
busy
a challenge.
man. You're a
Yeah,
busy man. No, it's good for you though. You'll look back on these days and you'll be so
of
grateful
course.
for every moment. You know, the projects you're working
Already
on,
am.
the children, all that stuff. It's just incredible. I really am excited to chat with you today because I'm a new user of your XUMM app, and it opens up so many possibilities for me as a consumer and somebody who moves value around, whether it be purchasing a product, paying for a service, or even exchanging value in the form of investments. And it appears that this platform can evolve to literally be many things to many different people. I'd love to get your perspective and kind of like what's happening with you and XUMM.
Yeah, of course. So well, it's nice that you tried actually. I still feel like it's a somewhat polished, but when you look at the features and the different screens, also at the same time a rough start of what we envisioned building. I mean, we have at least a 1.5, 2 year roadmap of things we want to add, improve, and I mean we're definitely still in a beta period. And although I think we caught most bugs thanks to the help of the community, and I think there are already a lot of features, there are many things that can be improved as well and added. And we have some really nice ideas for this year, for next year. But what you already can see in the application is that we try to keep it simple and user friendly. And of course, the opinions on the user friendly part differ a bit. There's still lots of improvements to do, and like onboarding guides and instructions for user, and maybe some changes in terminology. But what's already working is the multi-account setup with really easy screens, not a lot of buttons or options, and then the integration with the platform, the signing. And I don't know if you tried signing with XUMM.community by Nixer FFM
No, I
or
haven't.
XRP Toolkit, and that's where you can really see the power of what we're building, where we can keep XUMM as an application really simple and focused on easy user interaction with the XRP ledger and the decentralized exchange. And then all the other advanced stuff, there's probably a platform of a third-party app you're going to use for that. Leave it to the specialists, right? And that's where XUMM really adds a great feature, keeping your keys safe on your device and offering a really nice round trip from the third-party application to XUMM. You sign, you go back to the third-party application to continue doing whatever you wanted to do in the first place. And that's just really interesting, because that means that the third-party developers, platforms, applications, they can just focus on what they're good at, the value they want to offer, without worrying about the security, keeping user secrets safe, asking users to compromise their safety to use their application. And also it inverts the way you work with digital ledgers. Instead of you initiating sending something to someone, a third-party application can ask for something, and all you have to do is say, like, this is okay. You sign it and you go back to third-party application.
No, I love that. So I'll tell you what I have done so far. And I needed some help. So this will give you an idea of my technical proficiency. So I downloaded the app some time ago, and on Twitter, there was a lot of buzz about getting your XRPTIPBot migrated and linked to Uphold. Well, I'm an Uphold user, and I went to Uphold. I didn't see any functionality on the site Uphold to do it. Most likely my fault. So I go to where everybody who has problems with anything in crypto they go to Twitter. Instead, like in seconds, said, hey, Jerry, check this out. And it was literally click, click, click. And now my TipBot is linked to my Uphold account. There is now a link to Uphold in my XUMM app, which is perfect for me because Uphold is a on-ramp and off-ramp to fiat. So now I have fiat to Uphold, Uphold to XUMM, and XUMM to the world, right? Which I thought was really cool.
I think there's a mix-up somewhere though, because XUMM is unrelated to the TipBot and unrelated to Uphold.
Okay, I know that. However, I have the XUMM app in my hand and I'm looking at my thing, and I can tell you in my events, okay, in the events tab.
Yeah, so it's a deposit or a withdrawal.
I am looking right here at a payment received from Uphold.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
That's
I go to
definitely
Uphold
possible.
and I have a card on Uphold that says TipBot.
Yeah.
Now I can move XRP from Uphold to XUMM to the world.
Yeah.
The world can give me XRP through XUMM. I can send it to Uphold. I can convert it into my fiat, deposit it directly in my bank. The last mile issue is made really easy. Now, that was only one experience with the XUMM app. I'll tell you the other. So I'm on a personal private call with Jungle Inc., one of my favorite YouTubers, who's become a friend, away from the internet. And I was telling him I had this interview with you, and he goes, hey, have you done this or have you done that? And I'm like, I'm kind of tech dumb. I can't really do a whole lot. I'll wait. He goes, what's your address? I sent him my little addressy thing. The next thing I know, he sent me a euro, and that euro got converted into XRP in nanoseconds.
Exactly.
And I was like, wow. It's like you can theoretically and understand something from an intellectual standpoint, but the visceral experience of holding your device in your hand and seeing the magic take place in nanoseconds is pretty friggin' cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool. It's also cool to build it and then see the world doing that.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool. But actually, there's the XRPL decentralized exchange to thank for that. We built the user interface, of course, on top of it, and we added some logic.
Right.
But it's just a really cool feature of the XRPL that doesn't get enough attention, and I think it's a feature that we'll be able to use a lot more, not only for fiat currencies or tokens, but also for maybe one day a tokenized property. I mean, why should it be a currency?
Right.
And you can track your ownership in XUMM, and I mean, that's just really cool. And the thing we added in XUMM is that if let's say someone owns euros issued by whatever company, and they want to send it to someone else, and they own the same currency, then it will be sent as is, so euro to euro. Now, as you didn't have euros set up in XUMM, the sending side will detect that automatically and say, okay, but then we got to convert, and then the liquidity on the decentralized exchange is used, and that's just 4 seconds. It's one transaction.
It was super fast. I really loved it. And when I went into the add other assets tab on my home screen, and I saw that you had Bitstamp, GateHub, Tolo Labs, kind of, I don't want to say preloaded because that may not be the right technical term. Matter of fact, just to let you know, throughout this interview, I may use technical terms that are inaccurate. Feel free to correct me. But it appears that there are already pre-installed relationships. I can click to my acceptable received asset basket list thing, correct, my wallet. That's pretty friggin' cool, man. I think.
Well, I really hope companies like GateHub and Bitstamp, like the exchanges that offer fiat currencies, token like IOUs on the XRPL, I really hope they will expand what they're doing today. I mean, Bitstamp just released pounds, right?
Yeah, the great big pound, right?
Yeah, I really hope they will start issuing that on the XRPL. Same for euros, because the way we look at putting the XRPL to use is that it's awesome if people use it for sending and receiving XRP, but like for real use cases today, there's probably at some point a company on the other side of the line, and they will probably want to receive their local fiat currency. Then still using the decentralized exchange, using exactly what you already experienced, one could send any other currency, any other IOU, Bitcoin issued by Bitstamp or GateHub or XRP, and without even having to worry about what the other side wants to receive, some will just take care of that. The XRPL decentralized exchange will take care of that. So in the with the feature I explained just now about like the platform allowing companies to request something, they can just say, I want to receive euros, and you can send whatever the hell you like. It will just be converted. You don't even have to worry about it.
Absolutely miraculous. I have a couple of questions though, and because security is a concern for me. For instance, I have taken off of my phone all of my exchange apps. Now, I'm curious, how subject to thievery is the XUMM app as it pertains to SIM swapping and other security issues of that nature?
SIM swapping is not going to be an issue because we don't do anything related to your phone number or whatever. And then there are two security levels in XUMM. It's the biometrics, so Face ID or thumb or whatever, if supported by your phone, of course. And then there's the passphrase security level, where we really require you to enter a secure passphrase, not like just my dog 123 or whatever.
Sure.
And it's really important to select the right one. And I think we can make some improvements on that side by giving users the right instructions, or maybe doing like a wizard where people end up at one of the options. But for savings, definitely go with the passphrase. I mean, even if someone is in, like if your phone is hacked, as long as you don't enter it, it's going to be safe. But I mentioned like as long as your phone is in a secure state, I mean, make sure to well be cautious about what you install in your phone. Keep your OS up to date. Then the biometrics, use that for a spending account. So we call it at XRPL Labs, we call it the Katy Perry model, like the hot and cold model.
Sorry.
So just use two accounts. I mean, the account reserve is 20 XRP. It's not in most parts of the world today where people are stacking up on XRP. That's not too much. And your significant holdings, put them in your passphrase account, and then use your biometrics for easy spending by just showing your face or your thumb for a lower amount of XRP. And then if the balance of the spending accounts becomes too high, then send it off to your passphrase account. If it's too low to actually buy something, then top it up with your passphrase account. You're
Got
not,
it.
you
No, I
you
love
will
it. Great.
probably,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. We had a delay. I was going to say great answer. I actually understood that.
yeah, well, if you want more security, you could even do the same thing, but then keep your savings account actually outside of your phone. Use a secure hardware wallet, and then you can do the same thing, like top up from the hardware wallet to some. You can use XRP Toolkit by Toho Labs for that. So you can sign in using your hardware wallet and then top up your XUMM account.
Okay. Okay.
Or sign in with XUMM and then send it off to your yeah.
I'm curious, at what stage or what iteration of XUMM do you foresee an integration with, let's say, a global ID or some globally recognized KYC, AML, CFT, regulation requirement for moving money around into different milieus?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question, and it's actually overlapping with one of the first things you mentioned about installing XUMM and your experiences with the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, like going from the TIPBot to Uphold and then from Uphold to your XUMM account. And there are some big changes coming, and I think we will start working on that within a few months, maybe after the summer holidays. And I think we can show some results at the end of this year, and then maybe go live early next year with a few major makeovers, where we definitely hope to integrate, like partner up with existing exchanges and add them to XUMM as well. So then XUMM becomes your one user interface to both non-custodial and custodial solutions. So that's going to be really interesting. Then there's still no KYC requirement for us because we would partner with existing third parties. They would take care of the KYC. They can take care of the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, but we can embed it really nice in XUMM. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I have not seen one single app that does this today, and I think it's a game changer where you just have one application, one trusted user interface, one user experience, and then depending on the account you select, there's something under the hood and you don't have to care about it. I mean, you can have a mix of accounts in your account switching list that are custodial at one provider, custodial at another provider, non-custodial with your own on-ledger accounts. And then it would be really easy, of course, to send funds from one account to another because they're all in your local account address book. So we're working on that and looking for some partnerships and talking to some companies. So that's going to be really interesting. And then your question about KYC, it's actually a really interesting question because today one would argue like it's non-custodial, so why would you need KYC, right? That's exactly what we don't want. We want our own account, our own keys. If we want KYC, we can register somewhere else and use their app. And that may be true, but things are changing in the world, in crypto. And if you look at what I think will happen this year, next year, is that there's going to be like mandatory data sharing for deposits and withdrawals between exchanges, wallet providers. Companies will have to comply with regulations asking them to store proof of origin, stuff like that. Where is the transaction coming from? Is that person KYC'd? What are the details? Where has it been sent to? And that would actually be devastating to non-custodial crypto wallets today because you cannot prove who you are, right? You just own an account on Ledger. You can be anonymous, you have funds, and you want to deposit them to an exchange to maybe exchange it for another currency or to do fiat off-ramp or name it. it's going to be a challenge to do that for significant amounts of cryptocurrencies, I think, in the near future. So we've been thinking about this, and we decided that it may be a good idea to add opt-in KYC to XUMM. Just opt-in, combine it with a user profile option, and this we can add trust to the entire ecosystem as well. If we are going to provide the KYC flag to the entire XRPL ecosystem, then third parties can benefit from that as well if they're interacting with the XUMM API. We can also, if people create a profile, which is going to be opt-in again, display like a check mark next to their name and their icon, so we KYC the person and they are exactly who they are saying they are. And we can use this KYC information when a user wants to deposit to exchanges requesting source of origin information.
Or even retail. There are retail applications. Let's say I want to buy a car.
Yeah,
I want to buy
exactly.
a car. Let's say we get to the point where we're using crypto to actually purchase a home.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's a really interesting thing about the XRPL, that we are actually talking about accounts. It's not just like a throwaway crypto address and then you spend it and you send it off to another account and you throw it away and you use a new account. It's an actual account. That's why there's a reserve. You're going to activate it and you're going to keep it, and it's going to be like your own ledger identity. So that's where your KYC flag will be. That's what will be trusted. And I envision like a permission dialogue in XUMM where you want to sign something. So the third party sends a request. You get a notification like, hey, this and this person wants you to sign this and that. Can be a sign in, can be a payment, can be anything. And they request your KYC data, like they want your name, they want your country of origin, and that's it. Or maybe they want your address, just the information they request, and then you can accept or deny. And then if you accept, not only will XUMM sign and deliver the sign results to the third party, but they will also include the KYC data.
This is great. When I first downloaded the app and I started messing around, it happened to coincide with an old Greg Kidd interview that I saw from two and a half years ago or so, 2 years ago. And then I remember Greg had a global ID project, so I went and kind of started looking at the global ID project, and I was messing around with your app, and it seemed to me very logical that the two of you, global ID and XUMM, should somehow have coffee together and talk and put your two minds together, because there is so many avenues, streets, whatever directions that you can go once you're verified. The way I can move money in around the world for whatever it is, an investment, a purchase, a service, it doesn't matter, and they're big ticket items, if I'm not checked out, those things are very difficult. Matter of fact, almost impossible unless you have the right, cartel connections, which I don't.
Yeah.
So being able to do it legally and within this milieu of this digital transformation for the financial services world moving forward, it just seemed like this is you two are made for each other. I'm curious, have you folks reached out to Greg and Global ID to see if there's some possible working together kind of thing going on, but possible between the two of you?
No, it passed my mind, but no, I didn't reach out. But
Okay.
I agree. There's some opportunities there.
Okay, hang on one second. We'd say, hey Greg, if you're catching this one, DM me. I'll send you Wietse's email. We'll put the two of you guys together because I think there's some real synergy there. Okay, Wietse, go ahead.
Thanks.
What's
go
next?
ahead with. What's next?
I have another question, and I don't think I'm the only person that will have this happen. So what if I fat finger something? What's my recourse?
You fat finger something?
Yeah, there was, okay, I wrote that down as a question because I did something where I actually fat fingered something and I wasn't sure if it was if there was some recourse to it or not. And to be perfectly honest with you, I forgot exactly what that was. So let me go to my
But
next
like
question. Well, fat
an
finger,
amount or a destination? Or
no, it was, yes. Okay, so what it was is it said, like I can add an account.
yeah,
Right? I can add a spending account. Well, if you don't have the QR code, you got to manually enter it or somehow
yeah.
copy and paste it. Okay. I have messed up things in the past. I was wondering, is there some, like, I love the QR code. That makes it so easy for me. But if you don't have that, then
Mhm.
it's not, it
Yeah,
becomes much more difficult. And for me, the barrier is the consequences are so high that I don't even go there. If I can't QR
yeah.
code it, forget it. So that takes me out of adding a lot of new contacts because you have to have addresses and destination tags, and I don't know how to copy and paste from a phone to a laptop.
Mhm.
So for an old guy, you know, like let's say it was your grandma, adding
Yeah,
contacts isn't that easy for me unless I just don't know what I'm doing and you could tell me in 2 minutes how to do it.
yeah. Well, if it's about adding accounts, we definitely improved something there. If you look at how secrets to XRPL accounts and other crypto accounts are imported today, for the XRPL, that's a family seed. So it's a
Oh
S,
yeah, yeah.
lowercase s, and then the whole string, or it's a mnemonic with the 24 or 16 or whatever words. Both methods are really prone to user error, to fat fingers, to typos. It's horrible actually. And I think by now I received about 30, 40 requests from community members who try to import their account, not even before XUMM, and they didn't manage to do it because apparently they made a typo somewhere and they thought they lost their funds. So, I mean, if it's just one or maybe two typos, it's pretty easy to recover. So I wrote a few tools for that. And
Oh,
to date, I recovered all but one account. The one I didn't recover was recovered by the user itself in the end. So, I mean, all 30, 40 people have their funds back. But it made me realize that it's just a horrible way to like manage access to all your funds. So Nick Bugales, the developer at Ripple,
sure, sure.
superstar coder at Ripple, awesome person as well.
Yep.
Um, he had this idea of using a different format for account secrets. So what if the account secret wasn't encoded with words or like a big long string starts with a lowercase s? What if it was just numbers? Like a few chunks of numbers. And it's actually a great idea because if you look at numbers, it's so much easier to enter. They're so, I mean, they're less characters.
Like a
They don't
phone
look
number,
as much like, yeah, like a really long phone number then.
a really long.
Um, yeah. So we decided to try that and to build that, and that's actually now the primary account type in XUMM. If you create a new account, if you like add an account and you don't select import but create, XUMM will give you 8 chunks of 6 numbers, and then that's your account secret. And
So
we,
I'm creating a new account here.
yeah,
Okay.
and we require users to write it down and completely enter it again. So we want to make sure that you wrote it down and that you wrote it down correctly. And then you
Got it.
put it on, you write it on 2 pieces of paper, you put it at safe places, and then that's your recovery method. But it's, I mean, it's really hard to make a mistake with these account secrets. And then if you look at fat fingers when entering an account address like R whatever,
Right.
uh, that's if you don't have a QR code. We're going to make that a lot easier as well. When we add the profiles later this year, users can select a slug. And then, of course, if you KYC, if you opt in KYC, you get a check mark, so people know it's really you. And then we're gonna allow people to like sync their local address book with XUMM as well, without sending it to our servers. On the other side, if someone verifies their phone number or email address, then we can match it up, right? But not the actual contact data, but like a hashed version of the contact data. So we
Sure.
don't want to own any of your personal information.
No, I
And then
totally.
it will be really easy for users to just find each other by a username or by contact details.
Email address. I love that.
Email address, phone number. But I cannot say anything about that. Expect something really cool later this month. That's going to be a huge improvement as well.
Ooh.
It's not just us. It's bigger than just XUMM, but it's going to be really cool.
I'm really looking forward to it. My little clock just popped up, says you're running out of time. And I want to respect your time because I know with the kids and the wife and the business, you are absolutely busy. And I wanted you to know personally how grateful I've been that you've been such a gracious member of the digital asset community on Twitter, so generous with your time, answering questions, helping people, making suggestions, bringing up topics, and all the stuff you've done to really support XRP. And it's, for me, it started with the TIPBot. I thought that was an incredible project that you put together, and it's helped me show a lot of people how easy it is to move value digitally that's real, not an IOU, and not, you don't have to wait 3 days for it to settle.
Exactly.
And so I think I can speak on behalf of the entire digital asset space, but specifically the XRP community, to say thank you so very much for the time and energy that you put into this. And we look forward to all the iterations and new projects that are going to come out of the XRPL Labs entity.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. And well, I mean, to the entire community, thank you for the support and the enthusiasm. I mean, today we have 22,000 users for the XUMM beta. It's just crazy. That's the beta. And the amount of input we received and the bugs the community found and the way they reported them, like the time and effort people spent to explain to us, to document what they tried to do, what happened, what they expected. I mean, I cannot think of any way we could develop what we're developing right now without this help. So I think it goes both ways, and just gives a lot of energy as well.
Well, again, thanks for your time. Say hello to the family for me, and until the next time we get to chat, pure
Thank
vida.
you. Bye.